Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking your places. My name is Adrie Meidam. I work as Executive Director for the IBA Bachelor Program, and I will be your host for today for this festive event. I'm happy to welcome all of you to the Doelen, home of the Rotterdam Philharmonic Orchestra, and for the second time, the IBA graduation. Before we get started, may I kindly ask you to switch off your cell phones for the duration of the ceremony. We have a cortege of professors attending the ceremony. May I ask you to please arise from your seats as the cortege enters the hall. Thank you. You may get seated again. Well, you may know to wish who entered. Actually, preceding the cortege is the Master of Ceremonies, or more popularly Beadle, Miss Marlee van Kester. Actually, last year she was alone, but this time it's two of them. Great. I'm curious what happened in the meantime. Welcome. And the cortege was made up of two professors who play a very important role in the IBA program. Professor Slavek Magala is Professor of Cross-Cultural Management, and he is the academic chair of the IBA program. Professor Hans Oppeland is Professor of Information Management, and he is the honorary member of RSM's examination board. Okay, now it's time to ask in the graduates. We thought it would be a good idea to let them enter in a very festive way. So they will be let in by the Unicum Brass Band. Please give them a warm hand when they enter. Thank you, thank you. That was that for a start. Welcome to all of you, our distinguished professors, our graduates, their relatives and friends, members of the Rotterdam School of Management community, Erasmus University. We highly appreciate your presence at the 9th official graduation ceremony of the bachelor program in IBA. We know that some of our graduates had to travel because some of you have chosen to do master programs abroad. Some are still with us with our own exchange. We also know that friends and relatives have come from abroad. We very much appreciate that you made the effort. Please be aware that we have a professional photographer at hand who will be taking pictures throughout the ceremony, but you're still most welcome to make pictures yourself as well. And we've also made individual pictures of the graduates, so you all get them. As for today's program, the academic responsibility for the IBA program is in the hands of the chairman of the program, Professor Slavek Magala. He teaches himself in the program, cross-cultural management and also introduction to international business. May I invite Professor Magala to conduct the opening address.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have good news for those of our graduates who are modest people and will not run tomorrow to the nearest car dealer to purchase a Jaguar, but would like to stay with a more modest car by the name of Saab. Now, Saab has just been saved by the Chinese from bankruptcy, so your future investment is safe. But I'm mentioning Saab for a different reason. Saab has once coined a wonderful slogan to sell more cars, which ran something like this: Saab, not for everyone, therefore for you. Now we can say the same about higher education. It's not for everyone, therefore it is for you. And why would we do it? Well, because we think that in education, as it is understood today, we would like to be elitist for everybody. Now that sounds slightly contradictory, and then you may say, is it sustainable if the elite members, people with the elite education, with the higher education, become more numerous? Then, as of course Andy Warhol, whose reproduction I have placed here, said, everybody will be famous for 15 minutes, so maybe also the elite status will be for 15 minutes a day only. Well, I think that the real elitism and the real test whether the higher education does make you a member of a distinguished minority begins in a life after a diploma. Our painful empirical research has proved that there is life after graduation. There are some people who lived to tell the tale. They came to us and they told us that it's possible to graduate and to have a life afterwards. So we think, in fact, that the real test of your elitism, of the higher education, of the club of persons who have completed at least one stage of the higher education, is the real test comes in a kind of an ability, skill, and willingness to do a lifelong learning. The diploma is not a status symbol you can nail to your wall and go to sleep and sleep happily ever after. It is more, the way we understand it, my colleagues who have also taught you, it is an invitation to a gathering of more knowledge in future. Now, you recognize this gentleman because you saw him in green today. We think that actually what we are doing is we are slightly replacing the biologists, although they are still busy with some genetic experiments, because we think that in fact education and cultural capital replaces the random genetic drift as the engine of variety in evolution of human societies, and then the cultural creativity becomes the decisive factor, translated, of course, into innovativeness, inventiveness, and other forms of creativity. So we think that we work not so much with genes as genetics, but with memes, the elements of cultural memory, which which will determine how much has been left in your brains after you have forgotten everything you've learned about at school and read in the books. Now, the situation becomes more complex, and that's why I started with the elitism being a mass elitism, because in a period not so long ago, roughly 2,000 years, we thought that the space of a single building, quite a large building in Alexandria, was enough to house the entire knowledge of the world, written on scrolls and other media, including, of course, also the Pergamon and the first paper. So that was the Library of Alexandria. Now, of course, we don't even believe that it's possible to hold the information and the knowledge which is necessary to run our complex societies if we have a space as vast as the Library of Congress of the United States. Why? Because every day, in every 3 or 4 hours of the broadband exchanges and communications, more knowledge is traveling around the world than can be contained in a single Library of Congress. So we are all really upgrading ourselves to some kind of a cloud. And in this cloud, what matters is our creative ability to access, process, and reprocess information. So, in other words, where we think that we made you members of the elite club is where we gave you some kind of an entry or an entrance ticket to the group of informed and concerned creative citizens, which of course Erasmus would probably have liked very much if he heard it. So what we do, if you compare us to people who are raising some strange organism, we are trying to breed passionate minds and to boost the creative crossbreds. Because we think that, in fact, knowledge in itself would be nice, but only if it is combined with skills to implement this knowledge in some real-life projects, and when it also gives you a thrill of a creative risk you are taking. Am I a total idiot, or will something come out of it? Now, only then we can indeed have some profits. So, understanding the core challenges of today, inequality, progress, and so on, is definitely a key to doing something in future with your knowledge. And now, of course, it's funny because it doesn't go anymore. Okay, then. Very good. I had about 3 or 4 more slides, but it's very good. We have to improvise. And the improvisation was that, of course, I was trying to give you, at the end, some kind of a summing up. Oh, come on, they did. So it teaches us a lesson. Simply forget it and let it go, and it will arrive by itself. All right, so universities and cities are the places which may be seen as the hotbeds of creative clouds of the future. Why? Because we think that universities are places where you get the first chance to have a try run of your creative possibilities, but also of your managerial skills in networking people and in getting people to work with you on some future solutions. So, and by the way, to show you that education does change the world, I'm quoting some of the data, demographic data from the Arab world. European societies needed about 120 to 150 years to extend the literacy of the post-Enlightenment era so that most of the adult citizens can read and write. Well, most of them, although some of them use about 600 words, which are enough to understand the simplest cheap newspaper, which is given for free as you enter the subway in the morning. But theoretically, all of us can read and write, and it took us 150 years in Europe. The same process in the societies of Northern Africa and of the Arab world took from 30 to 40 years. So there is a kind of an acceleration, and it has one very important effect, namely the higher the literacy and education of women, the lower the birth rate, which sort of regulates the pace of demographic development. And by the way, the country in which the university education of women covers the broadest percentage of female population is not the United States or Norway, but Iran. So, I can come to the basic important takeaways, which I would like to give to you, so to speak, from RSM with love. First of all, the creativity and fairness are keys to sustainable future. So if I had to sum it up in a short message, it would be like in Google, don't be evil if you don't have to. And second, without creativity and fairness, there is no longer-term sustainability. So don't be evil and try to be sustainable by promoting creativity which rewards everyone without being a zero-sum game, and try to be fair because it leads to long-term sustainability. So, summing up at the very end and coming to the more substantial documents being handed out, can we repeat that all's fair not only in love, war, but also in education? Well, what love, war, and education do have in common is that in order to succeed in love, war, or education, one has to have an actionable knowledge, not only the knowledge how things work, but also how to apply it and how to get what you want. And one should then be able to lead knowledgeable actions. So marry knowledge and actionability and go and succeed in the world. Thank you very much.
My youngest son wants to have a career in business, so that's why the magazine Quote is on our dinner table every now and then. And my eye fell on the issue that was the Quote 500, and I quickly looked through it, and then suddenly came across a name that I remembered, because I saw Joost Nauta. That's one of my former students, first generation IBA. So we thought it'd be a good idea to invite him to do the keynote speech for today. He did his bachelor with us and a master in marketing afterwards and started his own company. Joost, the floor is yours.
So thank you for the warm welcome, and thanks to all the parents, friends, grandparents for being here today. And above all, congratulations to all the graduates. I'm very grateful that I was given the opportunity to talk here today on this important day. I joined the IBA program in the very first year, back in 2000, and I never regretted that decision. It was a great experience to follow such an international program and to hang out with an amazing group of students from different nationalities and backgrounds. It's fantastic to see how the program has grown since then. And this is already the 9th generation of IBA students, so great. I want to tell you today about the path I took during and after my IBA studies. And it's not just a story, it's also a sales pitch to all the graduates here in the room. It's a pitch for an alternative route, a risky route that might be frowned upon by the parents and grandparents here in the room, and I know this from my own experience. Basically, what I want to achieve with my story and sales pitch is to save some of you from the claws of greed is good investment banking careers, and save others from wasting their creativity and intellect selling laundry detergent for big companies. This career path I'm promoting will lead you away from big corporations, traineeships, high potential programs, and unfortunately, the pitch is not as polished as the ones you will hear from recruiters of those big companies. It does, however, involve great moments of feeling like this, but even more moments that feel like this. Hanging from a cliff, clueless, terrified, and without safety lines. For the people who are by now wondering if I'm a mountain climber, the answer is unfortunately no. I'm going to be talking about entrepreneurship and how I decided that I wanted to become an entrepreneur. So my story is pretty standard up until I started my studies. Leaving high school, I had no clue what I wanted to do with my life, and what was probably a moment of temporary insanity, I chose to start an education in aerospace engineering. It took me exactly 2 classes to find out that this wasn't for me. So I dropped out, and for the first time in my life, I had loads of free time on my hands. Internet was a big upcoming phenomenon at the time, so I decided to learn HTML and code up a dozen of websites. One of them was about a relatively new thing called digital MP3 music. And that website, startmp3.com, became one of the bigger, legal, I might add, MP3 destinations online, and I sold it in 2000 to a US investment company. This was during the height of the first internet bubble, and the investor planned to combine a lot of large websites, sell advertising, and take the whole lot public. It sounded like a good deal at the time. I was 19, earning over $10,000 a month, and working only 2 mornings a week maintaining the website. And the best thing was, the IPO was supposed to make me a millionaire before I turned 20. Pretty sweet. However, we all know what happened to the internet bubble, and unfortunately, the IPO never happened. Instead, the company went bankrupt, and I was lucky enough to buy back my website. Payments from the US stopped, and I was back to square one. But by then, the idea of being an entrepreneur had been firmly planted into my head. So all I wanted was to look for a new business and new business models. And because I was fed up with intangible visitors and banner advertising, I started thinking about a business where I would sell real, tangible stuff to real consumers. MP3 music was the thing I knew a lot about, so I decided to sell MP3 players through my website. Why not? With my last 3,000 euros as starting capital, I imported a box of MP3 players from Hong Kong. This was before MP3 players became mainstream and started looking like this, and when they kind of looked like this and only had 32 MBs of storage. This was about the same time that I enrolled in the IBA program. Because I had decided I wanted to become an entrepreneur, learning more about business seemed like a good idea. So I ended up taking classes during the day and shipping MP3 players at night. I would do customer support from Mensa during lunch breaks, and soon I was importing hundreds of MP3 players a month and making a decent living. But at the same time, I was really enjoying my time at Erasmus and still had the memory of how quickly a business can go bust. So I decided to keep studying hard. And in 3 years, I collected my bachelor degree, same as you here today. But by then, the company has grown so much that I really couldn't combine it with anything else. So during my third year of IBA, my time schedule was so tight that I ended up reviewing lecture sheets while packing orders for customers. I decided to leave university for a while and focus on the business full-time. And what followed was one of the most amazing periods in my life. In 2 short years, the company, then called Direct, grew to a team of 12 people and a multi-million-dollar turnover. We ended up selling hundreds of different products in different specialized shops and being one of the e-commerce pioneers in the Netherlands. Throughout these 2 years, I learned things that I would have never been able to pick up in class. Not just about managing people, but also organizing logistics, purchasing, negotiating, and customer service. I must have personally spoken to thousands of customers on the phone and replied to a multitude of emails. This experience has been extremely valuable in everything I've done afterwards. And after 2 years of working incredibly hard, often 70, 80 hours a week, I ended up selling my company to a pretty well-known competitor from Rotterdam, Coolblue. That company was, and still is, one of the most impressive e-commerce success stories in Holland. I worked there for 6 months, integrating our company into their organization, but soon realized that my impact was limited there. On top of that, I found myself wanting to go back to university. One of the reasons for selling the company had actually been to complete my studies. Ever since I quit university after my bachelor, my parents, and especially grandparents, had been nagging me about finishing my master's and getting a real degree. I can remember conversations in which I was telling my grandmother about how fast our company was growing and that we had reached over 1 million turnover. And she would just nod her head and ask me when I was going back to doing serious things, to university. In our minds, starting your own business was just goofing around, and university was where the real important stuff happened. And all our nagging might have been for totally the wrong reasons, but it turned out to be great advice after all, because going back to university was the single best decision I ever made. Of course, this had something to do with the fact that I didn't have to work 70 hours a week anymore, and I could go back to drinking beer pretty much any day of the week. But it was also truly inspirational to go back to class with the entrepreneurial experience that I've gained. I was working on a new idea at the time, and literally every class I took became relevant and applicable in some sort of way. In my head, I was already trying to apply everything I learned to my own projects, which was a real eye-opener for me. I ended up studying really easy and motivated and graduated with honor. From the bottom of my heart, I can encourage any of the graduates in this room today here to do the same. If you have dreams to start your own business, pick this time in your life to pursue them. Don't wait till you're married, have kids to feed, and until a big company has planted ideas into your head about how business is supposed to be done. You might not even want to wait until you finish your master's, but instead go back to university in a few years' time with the unique experience of building something from scratch with your own hands. Especially for the skeptical grandparents and parents that might be here today, of course I have to tell you how things turned out for me while following that risky entrepreneurial path. Well, first I have to confess that I recently turned 30 and I still don't have €1 million in my bank account. Instead of a Ferrari, I ride a bike to work every day. But I did have an amazing time over the last few years, starting 2 new projects with a talented team of young people. Most recently, I've co-founded Fashionista, a worldwide online fashion community. And like many successful companies, Fashionista started as a side project while I was working on something completely different and considerably less successful, I might add. The idea of Fashionista was the outcome of a night of wine-fueled brainstorming with students from the Amsterdam Fashion Institute. And when we first launched it, we had no idea if anyone would even take notice. But after 2 weeks, it got picked up by a big magazine some 6,000 miles away in Brazil, and new visitors were literally flooding in. I guess that's the little bit of luck you need sometimes. After that, things have been a roller coaster ride. We as a team decided to drop everything that we were doing and to focus completely on Fashionista. Unfortunately, that also meant that we had no income for 6 months while finding investors to fund the project. These were difficult times. And for all the skeptics, this might not sound like the happy end we were looking for, but I will get to that now. In January, we got an investment from Atomico Ventures, the venture capital fund led by Skype founder Nicholas Henson. At the same time, the well-known Dutch entrepreneurs Michiel Muller and Mark Schreuder invested in our Fashionista. With the fresh capital, our team was able to pay for rent and groceries again, and the company got a huge boost. Fashionista now has almost 400,000 members in over 150 countries. We get almost 2 million visitors a day on the main website alone, and in total our content is viewed by 13 million people each month. We are one of the largest and fastest growing fashion communities worldwide, and although I never expected to end up working in fashion, I can tell you it isn't the worst job in the world. In February we attended New York Fashion Week with a group of famous fashion bloggers from all over the world. It was crazy to see that a small tech company from Amsterdam all of a sudden had reserved seats at some of the most prominent catwalk shows worldwide. And more amazing things are still happening. In addition to our office in Rio, we're planning to open new offices in New York City, Istanbul. And although I don't know the outcome of the story quite yet, it's looking pretty good so far. I wanted to close with some words I heard from Steve Jobs, one of the greatest entrepreneurs ever. He gave this speech just a few short years ago, around the time that I graduated. And what he said made such a big impact on me that I wanted to read it to you word by word. No one wants to die. Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. And yet death is a destination we all share. No one has ever escaped it. And that is as it should be, because death is very likely the single best invention of life. It is life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new. Right now, the new is you. But someday, not too long from now, you will gradually become the old and be cleared away. Sorry to be so dramatic, but it's quite true. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Thank you for listening to my story.
Thank you, Joost. Now it's time to turn to the students, the graduates. May I invite Ilona Jankovic, sounds foreign, but born in Nieuwegein, and Mark de Vries, sound Dutch, but born in São Paulo, to come to the stage to share a few words on behalf of the students.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this interim exam. Please turn off your mobile phones and store them in your bag. Calculators and other materials are only allowed if so stated on the exam. Well, I think that brought quite some people to some scary times, and sweat broke out everywhere right now. But luckily we're here because we finished all that and we graduated. And for once, I grew up in a small town in a small country. For 18 years, I lived in the same house. So you can imagine that when I moved to Rotterdam, it was quite a big jump for me. For once, I didn't have to bike past a whole bunch of sheep to get to school. But what was so surprising was that so many people made an even bigger jump. They came from all over the world to study here. Honestly, that made me feel quite a bit boring. I mean, I'm just Dutch. Take my good friend Mark here. His name is Mark de Vries. How Dutch can you get? By the looks of him, I thought he was German. But he's actually from Sao Paulo and a Brazilian. But then again, if you ask any IBA where they're from, you get something to, well, it's complicated. My mom's from Paraguay.
My dad's Japanese.
I studied in the United States.
Lived in France.
And that's an easy one.
Yeah, I mean, so many people, such different backgrounds, 1,000 different reasons why we're all here. But as Professor Magala said in the beginning of IBA, we all had a very few simple goals. Make a couple million, get a corporate jet, become a CEO. In fact, I'm pretty sure most of you aspire to become the next Steve Jobs, next Bill Gates, Richard Branson. And unfortunately, they have one thing in common: no university degree. But don't worry, in IBA I learned statistics, and according to it, we should be fine. Anyways, they not only skipped a few years in becoming rich, but they also skipped a lifetime of experiences. Lectures, exams, library, but it wasn't all bad.
No, and I actually think that the most interesting thing of IBA was all these different cultures. Of course, there are some differences. I know, for one, that a guy was convinced it was physically impossible to bike in the rain. Other people ask our dear friend Diddy where in Africa Norway was. And if you have a meeting, you have to specify whether it's Latin or German time. Food is also quite interesting. I know that I lost quite some trust of some people when I offered them licorice. And when Mark cooked me dinner for the first time, he made me meat, potatoes, and rice. And I got confused. I asked him, where are the veggies? He didn't understand the question. So that's when I learned that in Latin America, it's quite common to have potatoes and rice in the same meal, and potatoes are actually vegetables. But the best thing is that despite all these differences, we still get along so well.
Maybe except when there's international football. But yeah, I mean, this whole learning experience was quite a ride. Coming here and having to understand different cultures, different people, and even having to adapt to a new country is quite complicated, especially for the international people. And now that we're coming to a close, I've seen a lot of those lists, you know, when you've been too long in Holland when. But I think the main characteristic is not there yet. You know when you've been here too long, when you get waterproof. That is the only way.
That's definitely true. And as cliche it is, these 3 years have gone by so fast. I remember I got out of my first exam, which was Introduction to International Business, given by Professor Margalla that you just heard. And I ran into a classmate, and he told me I might as well have studied for Harry Potter. Besides Professor Margalla, we've had quite some other interesting teachers. Interesting accents, of course. I think all of you remember Bekers. And then there's the Dutch professors. I think you should have an ID, hè?
Well, some others were very thrilled about finding out the wonders of PowerPoint and putting a bunch of pew, pow, tring in all the presentations.
And others were so enthusiastic they almost ran off the stage.
But the really nice ones, they told us they're not going to go to the workshop because they had a prior commitment to Oktoberfest.
And of course, in law, there's a vital difference between motherfucker and motherfucker. Anyways, those students not laughing probably had difficulty finding their way to the classrooms.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for me it's a bit weird seeing everyone again in the same room. Last time I think was an exam. I mean, no worries, not that we didn't go to class, but just not the ones at 9 a.m. or after a party or when it was sunny or raining. But yeah, anyways, by now this has been fun where you're all waiting for some inspirational quotes, and we found one that suits. George W. Bush once said, one of the great things about books is that sometimes they're fantastic pictures. And on that note, we wonder, why does the financial accounting book has an orange in the cover? Why management accounting has a balloon? Microeconomics had jelly beans.
So you see, we didn't quite have those interesting pictures. But if we ever want to sound important again, we simply have to open the methodology book. Also, we wonder if Markov knows what he made us go through with all his models, and most of us wish that we still thought Modigliani and Miller was a pasta dish. Despite that, the most controversial theory was that good weather does not influence how happy you are, and most of us have actually hugged a tree, although not very willingly. This left us with a very dodgy sense of business humor. Whenever you see us laughing about bottlenecks and learner curves, it's not you, it's us.
Well, and since IBA is not only about studying, it's also about cultural awareness, we had also time to go abroad and try to test our newfound cultural awareness. And as for myself, I decided Asia would be a good try. And unfortunately, they don't tell that in class, but cross-cultural management is a lot harder when people don't speak English. In Korea, for instance, trying to get a meal can be nice, you may just have to ask, or sometimes you have to draw it, and if you're really hungry, you just imitate a chicken. But yeah. Anyways, I also learned how hard it is for the Asians to come here. My first training in Korea, I missed all the passes. I couldn't figure out who was on my team and who was not. I was a bit embarrassed to tell that to the coach. I mean, I think they look alike. I don't know if that's only a Western European stereotype. And I asked to my friend, is it okay? He's like, nah, don't worry. For us, all Westerners look alike as well. And in the end, I realized, for all the Chinese, Koreans, Japanese, and Asians in general coming here, how hard it must have been. All Dutch, tall, blonde people, very hard to find your friends in the middle.
So as you can see that some cultural stereotypes are actually true. But cultural differences are not only limited to Asia. A friend of mine went to Paris and she said the professor didn't even want her to write the essay. Just write the bibliography. That will say enough. I went to Australia. And in Australia, they call flip-flops thongs. So you can imagine my confusion when I went to a bar and there was a sign that said no thongs allowed. Another friend told me that in Peru, students don't buy their own socks. That's what mommy's for.
Well, yeah, for Latin Americans at least, I'm pretty sure the whole living alone experience is already quite a learning, insightful thing. But I mean, cooking, cleaning, doing laundry, buying your own socks, it's not something we're prepared for. But the Dutch people and the Western Europeans, they think that's only us. Not really. I mean, come on. Just because it's not frozen, it doesn't mean that chicken tonight is a gourmet meal. When actually, I remember in the first year, a council of 6 business students standing here, Germans included, decided that 1 kilo of rice in a small pan would be fine. You really don't want to know what happened.
But to be honest, the last 3 years were not only laughs and jokes, we actually did some studying too. When Bob Marley wrote, "Don't worry about a thing," he probably never set foot in a library a week before exams. honestly, they give me the creeps, libraries. They give you a death stare when you turn a page, and there's so many people, but you're not allowed to talk to anybody. Luckily, there were some people that did survive in the library, and there was always Arjen Mulder to come by and wish them, may the force be with you. And actually, the greatest thing in life is doing things that people say you cannot do. And when I look around me, I see all these people that continued no matter what, so they can toss this awesome head into the air today. I also know they want us to stop talking so they can get that diploma already. However, none of us would have been here without all of you. So for that, for all the support, the wisdom, and the inspiration, on behalf of IBA Class 2011, we thank you.
Before we turn to the raison d'être of the event, the presentation of the diplomas, we would like to show you a little animation that was made by Funky Branding, the brainchild of two also entrepreneurial IBA alumni, Alexander Broekman and Joost Vissers. Please come to the stage.
I guess we all remember how this whole studying IBA thing started. You're all ambitious after having finished your high school, and you're thinking, oh come on, it should all be a piece of cake. So let's go back in time and take a nice walk. So it all starts in this Eureka week thing. There you are, all fresh and innocent from home, with the best intentions to make new friends. You end up meeting some cool people, and you realize you have a pretty good-looking neighbor in your new student house. Now the first few months fly by, right? I mean, this is amazing. How is it possible that every day there is something different to celebrate? So after you've hopped from one social drink to another, you realize there was one small detail you forgot about. Exams! Right! Okay, time to focus, time to be productive, time to perform. Maybe you should start dropping some hobbies and make some time for studying. Let's see, maybe the professors can give me some wise advice.
Management accounting is all about practice. Like in sports, the more you practice, the stronger you become.
When I was a young man, still at the University of Poznan, Poland, I used to sit down and discuss philosophy with my friends in order
Don't take this too lightly. If you try a past exam at home with a cup of green tea and you burn some incense, some soft music in the back, your textbook...
Anyway, time goes on. Some friends left, some new people came in, and you have a nice group of friends now. I mean, can you imagine? You only knew these guys for a year or two, and you're already so close. Time for some fresh air. You can now do anything you like for the next few months. You went to visit some cool university abroad during the exchange, or you could have done an internship and learned what it means to do business, or a minor to get a better taste of that subject you like so much. So after coming back full of new experience and friends, now comes the final sprint. Oh yeah, the bachelor thesis. All these horrible stories from these ex-bachelor students probably creeped you out a bit. And you start working and worrying and working and worrying and working and worrying. But in the end you realize, work was really all there was to it. And you've done just fine. So look at you now, all grown up, sitting in your graduation ceremony. It wasn't such a bad walk, right? Congratulations, guys. You're done. Freedom! Or master. Which is also a possibility. But, you know, one thing at a time.
May I ask the graduates to prepare for the stage? You've been put in your rows in a strict alphabetical order, and I leave it to Zauer to call you up. In the meantime, I can give you some statistics. Today, we have 199 graduates, 98 men, 91 women. This year's graduating class comprises of 41 different nationalities in total. We have graduates from Aruba and from Curacao, from Israel and from Lebanon, from Azerbaijan and from Russia, from the Republic of South Africa and from Zimbabwe, from Brazil and from Argentina, from Italy and from Spain, and so on and so on. In total, graduates from 18 European countries, among them a large group of Dutch and seemingly also some Germans. 10 Asian countries, 4 African countries, 7 Latin American countries, and all the North American countries, the US and Canada. Most of our 199 graduates started their bachelor in 2008, so they did their bachelor at maximum speed in exactly 3 years. Compliments. A large group took 4 years, and we have some graduates who really loved to be with us and took some more time. In addition to successfully completing their bachelors, the majority of the students have been involved in a number of extracurricular activities, from sports, from student organizations, to student representation, the program committee, working as a student assistant, a mentor, an ambassador. You did a lot. You have noticed upon entry that some of the students have a silver sash on top of their gown. These students have earned the honorary distinction cum laude, indicating that their grade point average over 3 years of studies was at least 8.25 on the Dutch grading scale from 1 till 10. This year, around 23 students have graduated cum laude, so around 1 in 10 in this group. I would now like to invite Professor Oppeland to join me on stage. He's already with me. As he will, on behalf of the Examination Board of the Rotterdam School of Management, formally hand over the bachelor diploma. Professor, the floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time I will read what is said here on the diploma, because in the following I only read the name of the students and ask the student to come on the podium. The Examination Board BSc and MSc programs of the Rotterdam School of Management, Erasmus University, certifies that Polina Ravilevna Abdulina, born on 17 October in Moscow, Soviet Union, has passed the bachelor examination in International Business Administration, and following the decision of the Executive Board of Erasmus University, the person concerned has been awarded the degree of Bachelor of Science in International Business Administration. Polina. Muna Abdullah, born in Mogadishu, Somalia. Congratulations. Soufiane Augustine Ashoui, born in Alkmaar, Netherlands. Congratulations. Ignaz Bart Ariens, born in Hertogenbosch, Netherlands. Okay. He couldn't make it. Toba Ali Arshad. Kenan Bart. Born in Castrop-Rauxel, Germany. Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Dankeschön.
Cristina Simona Bataga, born in Târgu Mureș, Romania. Hey. How is it? Congratulations. Jim de Beer, born in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Gefeliciteerd. Ja, Annemieke de Bierman, born in Ede, Netherlands. Miranda de Boer, born in Wevershoofd, Netherlands. Florian Patrick Bolongina. Born in Düsseldorf, Germany.
Delightful.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Thank you.
Jeroen Henricus Johannes von Bommel, born in Eindhoven, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Pedro André Boot, born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazilië.
Thank you.
Van harte gefeliciteerd. Annelotte Cornelia Bosloper, born in Gouda, Nederland. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Laila Bouhalou, born in Gravenhagen, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Gordon Wijnand Arie Brussel, born in Groningen, Nederland. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Daniel Bruce Calvert, born in Glasgow, Great Britain. Congratulations. Linette Peru Chong, born in Singapore. Congratulations. Nicholas Chow, born in Richmond, Canada. Congratulations. Maria Onela Cianciarelli, born in Moron, Argentina.
Thank you
That's
very
a real
much.
Italian name.
Yeah, my family's Italian, but I'm
Okay.
joking.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Damien Collot, born in Namen, Belgium. Congratulations. Gefeliciteerd. Aimee Mathilde Cox, born in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Was er meer in Rotterdam? Laura Maria Grama, born in Breda, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd.
Thank you.
Ricarda Carmen Dahlheimer, born in New York, United States. Congratulations. German? Denis Dautai, born in Pek, Yugoslavia. Congratulations. Roberta De Luca, born in Napoli, Italy. Congratulations. Nico Stanislaus Delucci, born in München, Germany. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Philipp Degan, born in Neuwied, Bundesrepublik Deutschland, Germany. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Dankeschön. Philip Delovsky, born in Belgrado, Serbia. Congratulations. Dong, born in Zhejiang, China. Congratulations. Jamil Fanon Said Doors, born in Gouda, the Netherlands. Hartelijk gefeliciteerd. Oliver Cornelius Dreuge, born in Melle, Germany. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Annabel Edo Delgado, born in Barcelona, Spain. Congratulations. Laurens Matthijs Everwijn. Born in Amsterdam, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Faber. Born in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Murienne Ameline Figueroa. Born Aruba, Aruba. Han Gao. Born in Anhui, China. Congratulations. Deborah Jolande van Grasteren. Born in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. Hartelijk gefeliciteerd. Robert Gilo, born in Gotha, Germany. Hartelijk gelukwenst. Claudia Amara Gouré, born in Dordrecht, the Netherlands. Hartelijk gefeliciteerd. Iva Eugenia Gospodinova, born in Sofia, Bulgaria. Congratulations. Anouk Michelle Gifjoen, born in Woerden, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Emir Dino Gunel, born in Zurich, Switzerland. Dat is meer Gunel. Alexander Hart, born in Frankfurt, Germany. Hartelijk gelukwenst. Carlo Eduard de Haas, born in Gouda, the Netherlands. Gefeliciteerd. Or Hassan, born in Israel. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Lisanne Elina Heil, born in Utrecht, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Lieveke Lilian Helwig, born in Vlissingen, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Maximilian Ludwig Hermschulte, born in Recklinghausen, Germany.
Thank you very much.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Vielen Dank. 3 Jahre harte Arbeit.
Ja. Yvette von Herwijnen, born in Dordrecht, the Netherlands. Yvette, van harte gefeliciteerd. Michel Gabriel Hiltrop, born in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Dinesh Jeffrey Hoa Hing, born in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Naomi Hoefs, born in Utrecht, the Netherlands. Naomi, van harte gefeliciteerd. Henk Vincent Holman, born in Essen-Weeren, Germany. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Hui Hui Huang, born in Zhejiang, China. Congratulations. Kamran Hussein Sade, born in Baku, Soviet Union. Congratulations. Shao Li Hu, born in Dirksland, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Ja. Kevin Peter Huizen, born in Curaçao, Dutch Antilles. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Zalma Ibrahim, born in Delft, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Gino Quincy Xavier Jacobs, born in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Thomas Michel Maurice Jacquet, born in Clichy, France. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Ilona Jankovic, born in Nieuwegein, the Netherlands. I saw you somewhere earlier. I don't know. Congratulations. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Malone Jansen, born in Maasluis, Netherlands. Malone, van harte gefeliciteerd. Wil je hebben? Jan Josse, born in Eindhoven, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. En wil je hebben? Ik wil hem niet. Oké. Richard Tobias Kahlen, born in Moosburg, Germany. That's a good one. Thanks, sir. Rabostin Ivanov Kanchev, born in Plotre, Bulgaria.
Thank you, Professor.
Congratulations. Amrinder Kaur, born in Shashapur, India. Congratulations. Oktay Kaya, born in Dortmund, Germany. That's a good one. Thank you. Sophie Kaczmirczak, born in Bad Nauheim, Germany. That's a good one. Yeah. Nina Marie Freke Keizer, born in Leiderdorp, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Bernhard Matthias Keller, born in Pforzheim, Germany. That's a good one.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Togrul Khalili, born in Baki, Azerbaijan. Congratulations.
Thanks. The youngest one.
Alexander Kaikin, born in Yaroslav. Born in Yaroslav, Soviet Union. Congratulations. You have some fans here.
I do.
Edward Nikolai Kiel, born in Tromsø, Norway. You're Norwegian. Yeah. Congratulations. Bianca Sherili Knotta, born in Harare, Zimbabwe. Oh, we are African. Maximilian Tutz Koch, born in Berlin, Germany, the city where I studied. Vladislav Kogan, born in Khabarovsk, Soviet Union. Congratulations. Annika Köhler, born in Königs Wusterhausen, close to Berlin, Germany. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Slavina Stefanova Koleva, born in Sofia, Bulgaria. Congratulations. Tirza Jacoba Margareta Koppert, born in Berkel, Rodenrijs, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Ja. Jana Kostadinova, born in Charkov, Ukraine. Congratulations. Is it? Vita Mikolaevna Kovalenko, born in Novoborovna, Ukraine. Congratulations. Jon Cornelis Krijeveld, born in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Veselina Todorova Krasteva, born in Varna, Bulgaria. Congratulations. Christoph Krauel, born in Pasewalk, Germany. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Alexander Friedrich Kronenberg, born in Cologne, Germany, where I got my PhD. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Oscar Alexander Krizik, born in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. Happy?
Oh yeah, very much.
Lucas Hermanus Landzat, born in Breda, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Benjamin Friedrich Laufer, born in Karlsruhe, Germany. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Fabien Pierre Bernard Letour, born in Toulouse, France. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Congratulations. Alejandro Hendrik Lolkema Placentia, born in Mexico. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Janneke Loof, born in Tolen, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd, Janneke.
Ja, dankjewel.
Ja, leuk hè?
Ja.
Alexandra Lopez Rodriguez, born in San Salvador, El Salvador. Congratulations. Erwin Lusse, born in Nieuwerkerk aan de IJssel, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Ja. Oh, daar heb je hem. Adi Macic, born in Kaptlena, Yugoslavia. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Dumitru Mashitan, born in Orhei, Moldavia. Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah. Jacqueline Maria Maakslag, born in Geldrop, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Bogdan Michal Masalek, born in Pruskov, Poland. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Veronika Martinakova, born in Bratislava, Czechoslovakia. Congratulations. Adaidus Dominic Mastenbroek, born in Zeist, the Netherlands. Ja. Thank you. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Aymeric Ludovic Matencho, born in Lyon, France. Congratulations. Lukas Matulaitis, born in Vilnius, Lithuania. Congratulations. Anna Matuzova, born in Bratislava, Slovak Republic. Benjamin Friedrich Merle, born in Frankfurt am Main, Germany. That's a good one. Excellent. Marc-Antoine Bruno Michel, born in Saint-Germain-en-Laye, France. Ja, merci. Anna Vitalia Micevica, born in Riga, Latvia. Congratulations. You get it. You have it. Yeah. Rami Walid Mouakassa, born in Beirut, Lebanon. Congratulations. Hope everything comes well with your country. Marie-Noor Bahir Negerman, born in Delft, the Netherlands. Gefeliciteerd. Erik Christian van Nieuwkoop, born in Delft, the Netherlands. Erik Christian, van harte gefeliciteerd. Kong Miu, born in Shaanxi, China. Congratulations. There you have it. Bart-Jan van der Noord, born in Woerden, Netherlands. Bart-Jan. Fabianus Paulus Maria van den Nauwland, born in Haarlem, Netherlands. Fabian Manfred Edgar Nullmeier, born in Frankfurt am Main, Germany. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Luisa Fernando Ozono Hernandez, born in Medellin, Colombia. Congratulations. Chao Tian Pan, born in Zhejiang, China. Congratulations. Tanja Aurelia Patiana Cotta, born in Vlissingen, the Netherlands. Hey, van harte gefeliciteerd.
Thank you.
Ja. Oh. Joshua Pondra, born in Jakarta, Indonesia. Joshua, congratulations. Thank you. Jasmin Margriet Florida Pefferoen, born in Heemskerk, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Armand Georgi Pennenburg, born in Leiderdorp, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Maria Petronella Peters, born in Boxmeer, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Ja. Yuki Peters, born in Haan, Germany. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Milene Petkov, born in Târgoviște, Bulgaria. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Konstantin Olegovich Plotko, born in Murmansk, Soviet Union. Silke Poorteman, born in Soest, Netherlands. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Oh, van harte gefeliciteerd. Saskia Titske Pybers, born in Stellenbosch, South Africa. Yeah, first name is Tim Ramsche, born in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Tim, van harte gefeliciteerd. Annemarieke Kirsten Rijns, born in Oldenzaal, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Ja. Rick Martijn Rennes, born in Woerden, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Jeroen van Renen, born in Nieuwegein, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Meerte Riekweel, born in Gouda, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Marlou Charlotte Rijnja, born in Naarden, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Sebastian Röder, born in Dieburg, Germany. Lisa Christine Romein, born in Curaçao, Dutch Antilles. Gefeliciteerd. Adrina Caresse van Roermond, born in Aruba, Aruba. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Spreekt u Nederlands? Ja, van harte gefeliciteerd. Johanna Renske Wilhelmina Roosendaal, born in Dordrecht, the Netherlands. Ja, van harte gefeliciteerd. Judith Rosenbrand, born in Utrecht, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Anastasia Rochal, born in Ukraine, Ukraine. Congratulations. Dennis Rochal, born in the Russian Federation. And your brother? James Imran Rowell, born in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Boyd Cornelis Abraham de Ruiter, born in Gouda, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Simon Ruiz Tana, born in Tokyo, Japan. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't speak Japanese. You'll have to. Alain Patrick dos Santos Lefebvre Franco, born in Almere, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Alexander Sebastian Schroep, born in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Gabriela Thusia Schroneveld, born in Naarden, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Josanna Jasmina Zevilem, born in Helsinki, Finland. Karl Benedict Simons, born in Düsseldorf, Germany.
Thank you.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Dankeschön.
Jessica Josefina Anna Siep, born in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Andrea Tatjana da Silva, born in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Chong Song, born in Bengbu, China. Congratulations. Yes. Yeah? Okay, you got it. Albert Sander Spaan, born in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. Ja. Dennis Stettke, born in Cuxhaven, Germany. Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Dankeschön.
Thomas Jan Stepan, born in Farnborough, Great Britain. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Deljana Valkova Stuva, born in Yambol, Bulgaria. Congratulations. Max Leberecht Strack-Zimmermann, born in Düsseldorf.
Thank you very much.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Thank you.
Ja.
We need to see the photo.
Huh? Je foto?
Ja, dank u wel.
Maar je...
Schnaps.
Tobias Stratmann, born in Düsseldorf, Germany. Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Thank you.
Dankeschön. Michael Stefan Strooy, born in Haarlem, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd.
Dank u wel.
Chao Xiong Sui, born in Tianjin, China. Congratulations. Huh? Yeah. Xiu Xiong, born in Hebei, China. Congratulations. Cindy Zutanto, born in Cilacap, Indonesia. Congratulations. Ilya Dimitriev Josuyeu, born in Minsk, Soviet Union. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Paul Vincent Benjamin Taalman, born in Breda, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Yassir Talhi, born in Gouda, the Netherlands.
Thank you very much.
Ja, van harte gefeliciteerd. Ja. Claudia Rosanne Tijgela, born in Heerlen, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Claudia Terpstra, born in Goes, Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Pramod Zanyok Medaveen Tevari, born in Gravenhage, the Netherlands. That was too far away, yeah. The Hague is too far away. Yeah. Mike Roger Timmerman, born in Edam, Volendam, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd.
Dank u wel.
Yuling Irene Tia, born in Zeist, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Sin Van Cindy Chong, born in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Katrien Sabrina Brigitte Treutinger, born in Cologne, Germany. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Nina Chagall Tromp, born in Utrecht, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Gabriela Adel Varro, born in Oradea, Romania. Congratulations. Take it. Keep it. Roy Willem Marinus Verbeek, born in Tiel, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Adrienne Vermorel, born in Glaise, France. Congratulations. Joey Leon Feuring, born in Almelo, the Netherlands. Gefeliciteerd. Ja. Super. Tamara Pamela Wiefeen, born in Noordwijk, the Netherlands. Noordwijk on the beach. Ja. Van harte gefeliciteerd.
Dank u wel.
Ah, leuk hè? Mark de Vries Arroyo. Oh, I've seen you recently.
I think I've seen you in a drink.
Mark is born in Sao Paulo, Brasilia. Gefeliciteerd.
Best bedankt.
Ja. Jantine Vromen, born in Groningen, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Maurits Jan Sebastian Waardenburg, born in Renen, the Netherlands. Ja, van harte gefeliciteerd. Ja, dankjewel. Li Wang, born in Zhejiang, China. Congratulations. Huh? Keep it. Huh? Winnie Caroline Irma Wena, born in Enschede, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Marie-Louise Johanna Wesselman, born in Leiderdorp, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Joris Kaspar Winkelman, born in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Olivia Marta Wojtna, born in Bydgoszcz, Poland. After we're on Polish, I guess.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Maciej Piotr Wojnicki, born in Warsaw, Poland. Congratulations. Michaela Caroline Powodczak, born in Berlin, Germany. Dat is een Polish name. Dat is een goed woord. Is er nog Polish? Wing Yi Wong, born in Velzen, the Netherlands. Congratulations. Van harte gefeliciteerd. Zheng Wu, born in Zhejiang, China. You have a whole group. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you came with a bus, huh?
Yeah.
Charline Camilla Wurza, born in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, Germany, close to the Alps. Are you a mountain climber? Ying Xu, born in Guangdong, China. Listen.
No, next one.
Iris Eleni Yokarini, That's you? Huh? Can you prove that? Born in Zeist, the Netherlands?
Yes.
Dat must be you.
Thank you.
Van harte gefeliciteerd. Rui Yuan, born in Changzhou City, China. Congratulations. Here you have it, a bachelor. Tengbeng Tsang, born in Liaoning, China. That's good. Mr. Bachelor, congratulations. Yao Yao Tsang, also born in Zhejiang, China. You came with an airplane here for the occasion, all together.
Thank you.
Yanting Zhao, born in Shanghai, China. Congratulations. Chengxi Zhao, born in Jiangsu, China. Congratulations. Yeah. That's because of the X and the Z at the end. That's why you come. Björn Zimmermann, born in Shanghai. Almost. Linz am Rhein, Germany. Good.
Thank you.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Vielen Dank.
Ja.
In Deutsch. Das klingt ja sehr danach. Dankeschön.
Thomas Jakobus Wladislav von Soche, born in Lelystad, the Netherlands. Yes, thank you. That's it. I can hand over control to the executive director. Thank you very much. Thank you, Hans. Right.
Dear graduates, as from now on, you may call yourself an alumnus of the program. And actually, the RSM Alumni Office has already opened access to the database. So you're most warmly invited to become official alum of the program. And I also recommend to you to, as a second step, also to register on the special LinkedIn group for former IBA students. At this moment, the group comprises around 600 students, and it's a rich source of information on where our previous students have gone. It's really impressive to see. As for today, we have a 3-stage event. We're done with stage 1. Stage 2 is the drink afterwards. But as you've already read on the invitation, we have something special going on today. Today is not only the festive graduation of 2011, it's also the official start of the brand new IBA scholarship program. I keep my text short, but actually, IBA in a couple of years has become a hallmark program in the Netherlands. Everybody says it's a top program, professors, students, alum, also employers. So we can say IBA is a top of the bill program. We've been awarded a special distinction by the Dutch Accreditation Agency, so we're on our way to get to a top program in Europe. At the same time, we see that some of our students struggle to pay the tuition, especially when they come from outside the European Economic Association. They're not subsidized, so they need to pay a cost-covering fee, which is around 8,000 euros. And we've seen in the past that quite some of them have struggled with paying the tuition for the program. As we value diversity, and we not only want to have students from European countries, but definitely also from Asia, from Africa, from Latin America, the Americas in total, we have thought to ourselves we should start a fund so that we should enable talented students from these areas who are in need of financial support to give them a certain push in the back to be able to study with us. So for this reason, we have organized the drink afterwards a little bit different. In the end, we're paying the costs, but you're asked to buy tokens for your drinks. All the revenues for this will be put into this IBA scholarship fund, and we hope to be able to subsidize the first students next year already. Having said that, Going to part 3 is after the reception, still the party is not over, because tonight the IBA Events Committee of Stars organized a big party at Cinema, starting at 9 o'clock, so you're most welcome to go there. After all these messages, it's time to leave the hall. We do as follows. First, the cortege will leave the hall. Then they will be followed by the graduates. When they have left the hall, all others are asked to leave the hall as well. You're most welcome for a drink. May I ask you now to rise from your seats again when the cortege and the students leave the hall.